So I wrote this tool to convert bitmaps to OpenSCAD polygon points. What sparked it all off was the fan. I wanted to model it, and I was going to do it all by hand, making very careful measurements, etc. And then, yeah, I thought, well, that's insane. I've got a scanner, and a bitmap is just a matrix of points, so or a matrix of intensities or whatever. So it wouldn't be hard to write something. So I'm going to show you the process of how it works and what to do. So I'm holding the phone in my hand. So I'm just going to draw something. There we go. There it is. Some really excellent artwork there. Drop it in the old flatbed. I'm using Windows 10, but this software should be, well, it is cross-platform compatible, so that's all good. Obviously, you have to use a scan app that belongs to your operating system, as you may imagine. Now, I think 250 is way too high. I think you can probably go down to 50 dpi. So if there's, so that's basically 0.5 millimeter resolution. I think if I got my maths right, it's 25 millimeters in an inch. So in the space of an inch, we've taken 50. I'm confused. It's early. I've just woken up. So I think it's half millimeter resolution. Either way, if you go really high, it'll still work. It'll just take a lot longer. So I guess that's up to you to decide what resolution you want. Alrighty, so let's... you want to get the boundaries close, but you still need to leave white space. Failing to leave white space will cause the program to do undocumented behavior. So let's scan that. You could scan it to a black and white image and do all of that, but at this stage, you may as well just keep it blue. It's the contrast that's quite important, actually. So I'm going to use GIMP for this. I'm sure everybody's got their own software to do this sort of thing, but I'm going to use GIMP. That's what I prefer to use. And it's just a very simple thing. I'm just going to use the threshold. Hang on, let me just see. Here we go. Open with GIMP. I'm going to use the threshold to make that a solid black line. So tools, it's actually under color transform, and I'm just going to crank this up until blam. There we go. So you've got to just play around with it until you get the right thing. Now this is, what the hell? This is a lot. Scanned did not go as well as I had hoped. I'm going to go with, actually I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to tweak the colors and the saturation to see if I can clean this up a little bit. Let's play around with the levels and see what happens. Oh, look at that. I think that's actually really helped. Yeah, I think that's going to be a winner, I reckon. So let's go. Okay. Now let's try the threshold. Oops, and it's gone. All right, let's worry about that later. I'm going to have to zoom in. Cool. So it's a continuous line that we can see. I'm going to try to convert to grayscale. I'm guessing that's under colors. Let me just pause it for a second. Alright, yes, you go image mode, grayscale. I'm gonna have to lose this line across the front here, so I'll just get the eraser. Just erase it. And you don't need to remove the whole thing, just this top part here. Now we'll just fill that in with black. So that's pretty good. I'm going to just overwrite the scan, and I'm sure there's an easy way to do this in GIMP, but I'm just going to do what I'm familiar with, and I guess it wouldn't be hard to sort of do this sort of thing in the software, but I guess you still need to have some sort of control by hand for this sort of thing. So yeah, it's probably better just to touch it up by hand. It's hardly an arduous process. So I've converted that to mono. It's looking a bit flaky in places. You could touch this up and do everything else. The software should still work. It's just going to be a bit crazy in places. And actually, I'll be curious to see what it does with that. I think it should still work, but I think it might actually bridge across. No, it won't. It should trace the whole way around. Anyway, we'll see. Yeah, and the software is going to fill over. I think it might zigzag there. I'm not sure. We'll see. Ideally, you want to have a solid shape. But this will be interesting. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to run the script. I'm going to select the thing, and it's right into it. Oh no. Yeah, okay. So you really need a solid shape for this to work. I'm going to pause that. All right, I went back to the image that I scanned, but had converted to grayscale and done the brightness and saturation changes and everything else, and just played around with the threshold. And now we have a proper black and white image that isn't going to cause anything to break. I guess if you do see like just sort of 1 pixel artifacts hanging off of your thing, probably get rid of it, because it's just obviously that's probably don't want it to be there anyway. So yeah, just touch it up so what is here is what you want, and then just use the old trick. Use the old trick to save it as a monochrome bitmap. So I'm going to save as bitmap monochrome. Just overwrite this image. And I'm actually just going to inspect it just to make sure nothing crazy has happened in the process. That's looking pretty good. So now we've got something that's going to work. So we fire up the script and we run it, and you can see it's right into it. You can see it's finding the outline of the image and tracing all the way around. And the nifty thing is it actually gets faster the more sort of left and the more yeah, you see how it speeds up. That's just because it checks all the pixels in turn. I could make it even faster still by not displaying the progress, but you know, it's pretty cool, and I'm using opencv, so it's easy to do. You know, so it's fun, but I guess I could make it an option where you don't see the output as it's doing its thing. But then it's handy if it gets stuck, then obviously you've got issues. So once it's finished scanning the issue, you can see all the points that it's calculated there. You get another dialog box to ask where you want to save the text file. So I'm going to say save it to polygon.txt. It's just a previous one there. And if Abigail, please don't make so much noise. And there's the result. I can copy that out. Copy. Take that over to OpenSCAD. Paste. And then I can do a quick render, and there it is. Look at that. And is that the right? Yeah, so the size is way off because I don't know. Yeah, the size is, what's that, about 5 centimeters. Let's say it's about 5 centimeters. So we just need to scale that by half, or that's it really. So it's a pretty trivial process really. You just need to touch it up, get a solid black 1-bit or monochrome bitmap. That's very important. That's what it's been designed to do, or designed to work with. And you can see you can get these very high resolution. I mean, and this was only 50 dpi. As you can see, that's very good.